Okay, good morning, you guys. um, I'm not sure what this is all about. I guess I'm going to become a content creator because I am so excited to do this. Like, an excitement I feel like I haven't felt maybe my whole life. It feels so good to think about talking with you all. I want to say guys, but we're trying to be more respectful to women as well. I think with that whole guys thing is a way of, it was easy, but it's also, um, I don't know, just doesn't cover it. So you all, I will say. Um, but yeah, super excited to do this. So much I want to talk about. I've spent so many years since 2003. My journey really began. I moved out west in 97, and then a couple years in Bozeman, and then finally moved to Jackson Hole, which is where really it all started. Jackson is a super powerful place, and if you ever get a chance to go there, I would highly recommend it. But there is some deep healing that can go down there. It's an awe-inspiring place, but um, there's also some weird shit going on there these days. The billionaires are driving out the millionaires, and it's just not the same energy. There's actually a dark energy there, and that's something I want to talk about. I've gone deep down the rabbit hole. It started in 01 when I read my first conspiracy book, quote unquote conspiracy book, and then really life has never been the same since that, because it woke me up to the truth of what's really going down in our world. And hopefully all the viewers that eventually watch this doesn't shake you up too much. Yeah, actually, I want it to shake you up. That's the point. It's the time of the Great Awakening. Not woke, but awakening. But maybe by the time you're watching this video, woke, everybody will understand what that was all about. It's too serious though. So what I tried to, what's going to be our note for the day, I tried to look up the keyboards, notes on a piano, but it didn't really, I'm still so new, so I know nothing. But what did we say it was yesterday? C. That's nice. I had some drinks last night, so I only drink every so often. It's interesting, the fuzziness that gets created. And so one of the things I do want to share is that if you're going to drink, or you're going to smoke weed, or if you're going to take some mushrooms or acid or something, make sure that you have healthy fats, healthy sugars, healthy carbohydrates. Protein, I don't know if that's where the body really wants to go during it or just after, but you need the fats to get the oil circulating back in the brain, give you energy, as well as sugars, which are going to energize the brain, the carbohydrates. I'll do some more research on that, and then I'll share a little more. So I'm here in my office in Northeast. Maybe I shouldn't say that quite yet. I live with my mom, taking care of her. My dad passed away on my birthday, March 8th of this year, so pretty auspicious. And hopefully he's a part of the inspiration to start these videos. So, you know what I had the most interesting experience with last night was, being a Pisces, we get downloads. Everybody gets them, but maybe Pisces are more in tune with them. It was around desire. And I'm not going to go into what triggered this. Maybe one day, but that would be it would be a big lesson. Um, it's actually not that crazy, but it would probably freak you out a little bit. So I'm not going to go into what kind of developed this. Also, I'm going to go off on tangents. I'm working on my posture. I always hunched over. I learned that from my dad. Thank you, Dad. Not sorry. We all have things that we're trying to improve on in our next generation. So it was around desire, and it came from a physical interactions in my mind, because the mind has outer triggers that it sees, and those complement the inner physical desires, and not actually physical, like a chemical action. We were created genetically modified. I don't like to use that word so much right now because they're fucking with our fruits and vegetables, and they're genetically modifying stuff that doesn't really serve us, and it's not healthy. But that's a whole nother tangent. So we were modified from animals. Obviously, we have the same DNA as apes and gorillas, and then it trickles down into mammals. And so we have these innate desires to procreate. And I was having this really interesting experience around seeing that desire, and what does that desire really mean? And this is getting big and deep, but ideally the people watching this will understand. Desire equals connection, equals oneness, equals the collective. We are all one. We are all one consciousness. And that consciousness wants to be together. And as I say this, I'm not preaching to you. I'm preaching to me and talking, and hopefully we're both learning. Magnetism, drawn in, a collection of consciousness. And maybe this doesn't seem so profound to you, but it was very interesting to see that desire. We are desiring something. We want something to come to us. That is oneness. We want things to be together, togetherness. And I guess the lesson in this is we have a desire to connect, but there are many desires. And unfortunately, or fortunately, unfortunately until you can see it, unfortunately once you see it, we have many options to fulfill those desires. And those desires aren't necessarily always the healthiest. And I think if we can learn to see that, these desires, and even on the other side of that desire could be addiction. And what are we addicted to? It's just a mistake, the wrong decision. We choose these addictions to fulfill those desires of connection. So I wrote this down a couple months ago or weeks ago, but it was really the desire. We connect through our passions. You have to find some passions. What are you passionate about? Or what floats your boat? And then how can you, if you need to, maybe you don't always need to. I didn't always need to. I don't always need to. I'm actually Gemini and a Libra, so Geminis are really good at learning to be alone. Pisces, same. So I have many times where I don't necessarily need to be with somebody to be in my passion. But that's been a fault as well, because I've spent many years being disconnected and trying to fulfill that connection. I would smoke weed because I wanted expansion. I wanted to be experiencing the mystery and the mysticism of God, the magic. And I've had mystical experiences, and we can get into a lot of those later on. But once you have that expansion and you step out of your ego, if that's possible, ego is always there, the mind is always there. There's an entity that is literally living within your mind. I don't know if you want to call it ego, but you could call it the devil or evil or your dark side. And that's, it's always there. It doesn't just go away. So we have these desires and they need to be fulfilled. And if we don't fulfill them one way, we'll look to different ways to fulfill them. And this might be calling some people out. Now, this is getting pretty serious, so let's, I'll try and end this, but there's a lot of alcohol consumption in the world. Maybe, I just see it a lot in the United States where it's casual, a drink, and that's fine. But that can't be an everyday thing, because again, what does a desire are you looking to fulfill? How can you fulfill that chemical, physical, emotional, spiritual desire that you think you're getting through alcohol? What other actions can you begin to take to perform, or creative endeavors can you find that will fulfill that need? And then how do you balance all of those? Because there are going to be multifaceted, both mental desires, mental rewards, and physical rewards. I think the next generation is getting back to the physical rewards. More time, more energy to do physical things during the day and at night and whenever they want, because they're creating a different schedule. They, us. I get to be a part of this as a content creator. So I didn't really start this out like I wanted to. I'm going to try and get better, but this is only my second video. So I think I'm going to start sharing this with Pisces first on YouTube and see how it goes, and then maybe start sharing it with other groups of people. But I really just enjoy talking with you. I can feel the alcohol and the effects that it's bringing me negativity right now, around no one ever watching these. And what am I doing? Again, there's the ego right there. It doesn't matter. I'm doing it. It feels good. And I'm going to do another one tomorrow or later. I might do 5 today. That's how good this feels. And as I watch myself, it's so cool because I can see aspects of my best friend that I grew up with. and he has this gentle, super sweet nature, and he struggled just like me. He's struggled with the darkness and the demons that come from these actions that people take, adults unfortunately, that are not well mentally and emotionally. They make decisions and affects people for the rest of their lives. So, full disclosure, you're watching Full Disclosure. My name is Ryan. I love you. I'll talk to you again soon.